Hello, Broken Arrow. I'm Lauren Young.
And I'm Tristan Sutterfield, and welcome to this year's second episode of The Pulse, where we take a closer look at the best stories of Broken Arrow High School.
As you know, this year on The Pulse, every few weeks we will bring you featured stories on each of the 4 A's of Arrow Vision: academics, athletics, arts, and activities.
To start off the show, we've got a great feature which highlights BA Environmental teacher Donna Grottle and her Invent team who traveled to Africa this past summer.
Mrs. Grottle and some of her Invent team students gave us a glimpse into their trip and how they used their knowledge to help those in need.
This summer, a few students from the high school, some have graduated and gone on to college, but some are still here with us. And also some teachers and parents. We all went to Kenya and we worked on a missionary project there, building a sustainable fish food system for an orphanage in the Meru region of Kenya.
From the fish pond, another problem arose where the fish food was unaffordable, and that's when a group of students here at Broken Arrow helped me to write a grant, and we received a grant from MIT, and then we worked on this fish food project. So the summer last year was to go implement that project, that we would build the system that would provide affordable fish food for the fish pond that we had made. And that's very important because this area of Africa has an extremely high rate of protein deficiency in the children. So fish is very important for them to get that.
It was good to see the students be able to bring the project they've been working on for a couple years to the orphanage. And the students and sponsors, we got to help implement the fish food process that they worked out.
Just being able to see the look on all these kids' faces when you were talking about what you were going to be doing, and when you spoke about the fact that they did have all these possibilities out ahead of them, and that having this fish food and being able to feed these fish was going to really impact their lives, because it could help the orphanages not only feed the children and higher their protein levels, but also they could sell it and earn a profit, which would help these kids buy their school uniforms and have a better education and welfare.
It was just enjoyable to be able to share the knowledge that we have and try to help out in other places.
I think that as a teacher, you always wonder how students are going to react in another culture, and being put in a situation where there isn't any running water and there isn't electricity and the language is different. You always have that, are they going to be okay? And this group of students was absolutely fabulous. They interacted with the native Kenyans and they just adored them. They were so intelligent in the way they went about solving problems, because we came up with a lot of problems. Over here you can use a drill, just plug it in, you can look on your cell phone if you don't know the answer, and over there's none of that. So you don't have a drill, you have a hammer and you have a block, and you're trying to figure out how to make something work. So to watch them go through the problem solving and come up with a great solution alongside with the native Kenyans who were also helping out, it was just fabulous to watch the whole interaction and the experience.
I think it was great because we got to be at the orphanage, and we also got to do sightseeing, and we got to go on a trip to the UN and see what that was like. And also we went to multiple places in Nairobi and to see about future projects that we could be involved in.
To think that here in, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, could come together and fly halfway across the world and work together to do something really special. I thought it was very successful, and it was really a privilege to watch. And I think that the students really deserve a lot of credit and a lot of recognition, because it is not an easy thing to do. And each one of them sacrificed to raise the funds, to the hours to learn the skills that they needed and to understand the process. And then to spend part of their summer basically serving, which is what they were doing, serving and applying what they learned in another country. I think it was a very successful trip.
In our second showcase, we've got a behind-the-scenes look into the making of this year's Broken Arrow football intro video.
Our very own Mr. Spencer gives us some insight into the creation of this video, and we also get some thoughts from Coach Alexander and some of the players who were involved.
Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide.
Football intro video is something that I look forward to doing every year because it's a chance to be creative. It's a chance to make something that gets seen on the big screen. The fans, the students, the players really get into it. So this is the second year that we've had the opportunity to do it, and like anything, you always want to go bigger and better the next year. So me and Mr. Couch spent, a little bit of time during the summer kind of looking for motivation on YouTube with some of the different colleges and some of the big intro videos that we've seen. And you never want to just, straight copy somebody, but you always want to do something that you can kind of emulate in a way, but kind of add your own spin to it. But mainly we just kind of tried to really showcase some of the unique aspects of what it's like to be at a Broken Arrow High School football game.
At first, I didn't really have a part in it that was like just me. And I was the last one to go, the last shot, when it was just myself. And I wasn't even gonna do one. And then I was like, oh, hey, let me throw up the baby powder. And then CJ Myers was like, yell Football Palooza when you do it. And so I threw it up. I was like, Football Palooza. And I was like, ah. And then it was just kind of like, it was just like lit for like 1 second. And then I was like, whoa, that was like pretty good. 3, 2, go. Football Palooza!
That's what we wanted. That was pretty good, actually.
It was fun. There was a lot of takes. We had to do everything at least like 5 times. So it was fun. I got to sit. I'm like the first part of the video, so that's kind of cool.
We started on the indoor. We were trying to get hyped by ourselves, so we was listening to music and stuff. Trying to get into a serious mood, kind of, but it's kind of funny because we all joke around.
All right, let's practice. We gotta practice. Say 1, 2, 3. 48 minutes. Nothing. I didn't even hear you say anything. Hey, I need you to count your hands.
This year was actually easier to direct the players than it was last year, I think solely because even though we didn't have any of the players that had carried over, all those guys that graduated, they knew what to expect. They knew that we were going to make something really cool for them, so they really wanted to be a part of it.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay, so I say family.
Commitment. Toughness.
Ready.
Okay, everybody quiet.
3, 2. Family.
Commitment. Toughness.
One more time.
I think I missed it.
We're not in the frame, right?
Yeah. It was super weird just because guys like CJ Myers, always making jokes out of things, and you're up there trying to be serious. So I'm not like photogenic or a big photo guy anyway. So like being in like front of like real cameras with like real like lighting and stuff like that, it's definitely different for me.
All right, go ahead.
He said that was perfect. He said
I mean, I'm not camera shy, but I've never been like thrown into the limelight as much as I have been. And so it was kind of like nerve-wracking, I guess you could say. But I wasn't really nervous. I was more excited than I was nervous.
Well, it kept making me look dumb. Everybody was laughing at me because I thought I was really serious and I thought I looked cool, but I guess I didn't. 3, 2, 1. 48 minutes. They're making me smile and laugh.
Of course, I was there all night when we were doing it, and so I have all those memories of the young men with the powder and the footballs. It's funny. When I watch that video, I see their personalities. Because I'm around these young men 6 days a week. I see their personalities, and it comes out in that just little 2-3 seconds. And so even though their helmets are on, man, there's Skylar Haynes, there's Trent Lawrence, there's Gary Mossop. You can tell who they are. It's pretty cool.
Just the whole experience, I feel like as a group, we were kind of just cherishing the moment and just making the most of the time.
You know, how lucky are we to be at Broken Arrow where we can have this, we had this class, we had these capabilities, and the kids just eat it up. They think it's the best thing they get to do all year. And it just creates an unbelievable atmosphere on a Friday night. There's no place better than Tiger Field after that video runs. It's amazing, amazing thing we get to do with these young people.
You're at the front of the tunnel and you hear dun, 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 dun. It's like, man, like, that's us. Like, it's like our time. Like, Friday Night Lights, like, strap up the chin strap, like, let's go.
48 minutes. 48 minutes.
48 minutes. 48 minutes.
48 minutes of Tiger football.
Back on September 13th, the BA Theater production class produced the annual 2016-2017 BAHS Talent Show. Many of BA's most talented individuals showed off their talent, and the results were beyond amazing.
Check out this next video, which highlights the evening, and get some thoughts from some of the students involved, including Tristan over here.
Back on September 13th, the BAHS Drama Department and the students from the theater production hosted the annual Broken Arrow High School Talent Show. Many of BA's most talented students participated in the event, and we sat down with a few of them to get their thoughts on the night.
It went pretty smooth. Most of it was student-led and run by the students of T-Prod, so it was really cool to see them pull that off and have numbers there, have a lot of people there, and still have everything run smooth. So.
Save yourself, save yourself, yourself.
Well, basically how we put together the talent show was Miss Ellis kind of just told us that we were doing that and was a moderator while we all came up with ideas. And of course, some of our original ideas were far-fetched from some that it actually ended up being. After we came up with an initial idea, we broke up into groups for different segments that we wanted to do, that we wanted to write, that we wanted to cast, and then we started blocking them out, really like adding the flesh onto the bone, the skeletons of the scenes that we made.
Tammy is a vegan, and she loves her animals everywhere. Thank you, Tammy.
Well, we created enough skits to basically make sure that there was no dead air in between acts. If there was, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal, but we made it to where it would still be funny for the audience and they'd still, get their money's worth.
Alone, left in the treacherous rays of the sun, these pale, innocent human beings don't realize there's any hope at all.
I performed the song My Way by Frank Sinatra.
I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way.
Because growing up is one of my favorite songs. I relate to the song a whole lot, and so it was cool to share that little piece of my life and artistry with the crowd.
A woman moved is like a fountain troubled, muddy, ill-seeming, thick, bereft of beauty.
Take your eyes off of me so I can.
So my sister and I have been singing together for years, ever since she's been able to sing and since I've sung, really. I love it. I love performing and I love just doing my thing, my hobby and my passion.
I shot for the sky, I'm stuck on the ground. So what do I try? I know I'm gonna fall down.
Being fan favorite was kind of nice. My sister and I, we just kind of did our thing and we were able to help raise money for the drama program, and it was awesome. There was a lot of money going into it and a lot of fundraising.
It was a pretty full house, which was an incredible feeling, because also you have to consider that it's people that don't always come to, say, the show choir shows or the plays, because there's all sorts of people at the talent show, and so you have all sorts of people and their parents, and so you're getting a lot of exposure to people that don't know you, which is both nerve-wracking and really exciting because you're putting yourself out there.
and it turned out great. And the night was a huge success.
It's not my fault, is it? You impressed me, and I fell deep. Should've known that you would take advantage of me. You pushed me around, and I'm still here. Yeah, you knew I would be until I lived in the...
The Pride of Broken Arrow is one of the top marching bands in the country, and no marching band can be great without an excellent drumline.
This next piece highlights several members of the drumline and gives you an inside look at what it's like to be a drummer for the best band in all the land, the Pride of Broken Arrow.
Drumming, it's an interesting thing. A lot of people don't see it as an actual instrument, but whenever you can like keep a beat with pretty much anything around, that's probably one of my most favorite parts, is just being able to like have music in me constantly.
What do I like about drumming? I like everything about drumming, just the fact that you can play multiple different instruments. It's a big variety of things you can choose to play, and marimbas, timpani, snare drum, chimes.
What inspires me to keep drumming is just that it's fun, and there's a lot of people that can get moved by it in certain ways. It can hype up people, or it's just one of those things that like anyone can enjoy at any time.
The people's faces in the crowd inspire me to keep drumming, and to come together with a bunch of people that have been working to do the same thing. It's cool to just go out there on the stage or the field and perform everything that you've been working so hard for.
Drumming makes me feel pretty good, honestly. You know, it's just a way to relieve stress, just a way to keep my mind off things.
Drumming makes me feel pretty good whenever like we play really good together, but when we don't, like the band directors get on to us a lot, but like that's why we're like really good, because it's really disciplined, but it makes me feel good whenever we can play good.
There's a lot of things that go into making a good drummer. One is definitely work ethic, as well as just persistence, because it's definitely not something that's easy at first. Just like with anything else, it just takes practice.
A good drummer is someone who is really dedicated to what they're doing, practices really hard, like as often as you possibly can, and just someone who just goes there and gets everything done that they're supposed to.
In my opinion, a good drummer is somebody that can keep time really good, and somebody who's just really consistent with time and doesn't like waver.
To be in the Broken Arrow drumline, obviously skill is a big part of it, just because we're one of the best bands in the nation and we try to uphold that tradition. But also the look, there's a certain look that drumlines had forever. It's that professional look that we carry about ourselves. So those two things combined are basically what the drumline's all about.
It takes a lot of hard work and dedication to be in the drumline. Skill, concentration, and just doing what is expected of you to the best of your ability.
This year, the Broken Arrow senior class had the opportunity to do something that has never been done at the high school before: personalize their very own parking spot.
Student creativity was on full display as students had several days earlier this year to customize their parking spot to match their personality. Check out this cool highlight of the event.
Back in August, seniors are able to purchase and customize their own parking spot for the first time ever. This new event was to raise money for Project Grad and was a huge success.
You know, Mrs. Largent, one of our administrative assistants that works in the main office, actually is the one that came up with the idea. It's something that we've asked about several times the last couple of years, and Miss Largent put together a great proposal and caught somebody from our central office walking through our main office one day, and he loved the idea. He took it back to the central office, and they talked about it, and they liked it, and we were able to make it happen.
Well, when we were first told that we were painting our parking spots, the first thought that came into my head was space. And so I came up with the idea. I asked my friend Chloe if she could draw something for me with space on it, and she said sure, and she came up with something in 5 seconds. So
I was scrolling on Pinterest and I found it.
I didn't really plan it. I kind of just went out there with the colors that I wanted and kind of winged it as I went.
I Googled senior parking spots and I just was scrolling through all the pictures and the perfect parking spot came up and I knew it was for me.
I've only seen a couple other schools do it, and it's on Twitter, the ones that are really cool that you want to go to.
What was really cool about it is when it was time to paint, we had parents and brothers and sisters and friends showing up with people to paint, and it was a really cool experience. Actually way better than I thought it would be.
It took me about 3 hours, and then I helped my friend do hers too, so we were out there until 9:30.
Me and my brother, it took us 5.5 hours.
it actually didn't take that long. It took 30 minutes.
Too long. First, I painted the whole bottom coat of it the first day, and then the next day, the next weekend we had, then I painted the rest of it.
We definitely hope it's an annual thing, and I think the back parking lot might get redone this coming summer, and so we'll have to see if we can open up some more spots back there once that's done as well. But I think the front parking lots were great, how it worked out. We made about $8,900 to go toward project graduation, so that's a good amount of money to go toward the class of 2017's project graduation.
Next up on The Pulse, we give you an inside look at some of the school spirit on display during several of our amazing pep rallies here at BAHS. Check out this music video, which includes footage of the News on 6 Spirit Stick Assembly, as well as this year's Owasso Pep Rally.
Diamonds, I'm in black and yellow, 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 black and
This year's Mr. BA pageant was a tremendous success and included some of BA's best gentlemen who competed.
This annual event hosted by the BAHS Choir is always one of the most entertaining events of the year because of the sheer diversity of things you see on stage. But don't take our word for it, take a look.
Mr. BA is like a male pageant, basically, for sophomores through seniors. Anyone can do it. You just have to sign up and have a club that you're gonna represent, and basically you just go and there's different portions. There's athletic wear, talent, and then evening wear, and you have a question and you just basically show yourself off.
The 3 portions are judged differently. The athletic wear is 25%, and then the talent is 50%, and then the questions is another 25%.
Some people take it very comically and some people take it very seriously. You can see that in the athletic wear because some people will actually go out there in like a tank top and a bathing suit, and some will go out there in like a sumo wrestling suit. And so they inform the judges that if they're being comical, you want to judge them. You want to judge them on a different scale as to whether they're taking it seriously.
I was really nervous, of course, but like mostly though, I was just really excited to perform and just try to be funny as possible.
I was trying to go more into like the entertainment, like funny part of Mr. BA, but a lot of people do take it more serious route, and like they do amazing.
I mean, I guess I was trying to be funny. I mean, yeah, I was definitely trying to be funny. I dressed up as Britney Spears and danced to Hit Me Baby One More Time.
My favorite part of it was the talent portion because I got to perform Somebody to Love by Queen, which I'm a major Queen fan and have always wanted to perform a Queen song, and this was my first chance to actually do it.
I think my favorite part was like performing my rendition of Blank Space.
And my favorite moment of the night was probably athletic wear because I didn't have to try too hard to be funny, but I could still be weird.
My favorite part was probably the dance with all the other guys. It was really fun just to watch them, you know, like try to dance. And it was really interesting.
It was really fun because like it was choreographed by a former BA student and she did a really good job. She made it fun.
My name is Caleb Ricketts, and I am your 2016-2017 Mr. BA.
Well, that's all we have for you on this episode of The Pulse.
Be sure to check out BAHSPulse.com for more student-produced content, including videos, great articles by our newspaper staff, and much more.
Make sure you are following @BAHS Pulse on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat to be in the know here at BAHS.
Thanks for watching, Broken Arrow. We'll see you next time.